Someone that plays a lazy underhook, they are more upright, and let's say we are so lucky that we have the wrist. Okay, it also works from here, and it also works from here if we move our partner in regrip, but we do it from the best scenario. So now, in order to attack, I need to break the posture of my partner. Okay, and we can do it by pulling and pushing. Okay, it's not really pushing, it's more leaning into your partner, but I show you what I mean. Because I have the wrist, I can move the weight to the leg. If I wanted to have it on the right leg, I can do it to the right leg. If I want to be more in the middle, I can put it more to the middle. If I want to have it more on the left leg to pull it, I can put it a bit more on the left leg to pull it. The easiest thing to do in the beginning is to break your partner's posture by bringing the head in front of the hips. Okay? All of my attacks will come, like the Uchimatas, the Haragoshis and stuff, will come when his head is in front of the hips, even if it's only slightly in front of the hips. This could be the perfect opportunity to attack my partner. And it's easier than you think, as long as you control the wrist and you have your weight on your partner. But now, we are not putting the weight to the outside, we are putting it to the inside. I pull the overhook a little bit, not too much, and I do like a crossface motion. And now you see how easy I can break my partner, just because I control the wrist. If I wouldn't control the wrist, and he's upright, it would be way more difficult. But only because of the wrist grip, I can make it way easier. And I'm not really using my shoulder. Okay, it's not like I'm using my shoulder pressure. Same thing with the crossface. You don't want to use your shoulder pressure. You only use the shoulder to anchor yourself. So I'm anchored now. I apply pressure by turning my whole body weight. Don't do this, be strong, Linus. I'm not pushing down. What I'm doing is I'm turning and I'm leaning into my partner. This is a different situation, okay? It looks the same, but it's not the same. Let me show it to you with a crossface so you understand. I can use it later. Good, perfect. So, people think that a strong crossface comes from pushing the shoulder into the chin, okay? But if I push my shoulder into the chin, he will still be able to look to the right side. Yeah, exactly. What I want to do, I want to use the shoulder to anchor myself. So I pull him more into my shoulder. I'm not pushing, I'm pulling. And now, in order to finish with strong crossface pressure, I just lean my whole body weight into him. Okay? Oh, sorry. So now, he feels my whole body weight. And the same thing applies for the overhook. Just do it from this side this time. So, I'm not pushing in with my shoulder. I'm anchoring. I'm more pulling it to me. And now, I can move my partner a little bit, and I bring my whole body weight forward. Okay? And you see, I always want to have hip inside position. I'm not losing the hip inside position. I believe we will talk about this in the hip checking portion, but if I don't have hip inside position and I bring my partner down, he will Uchimata me, even with the underhook. Yeah, I don't want to get Uchimated. The only time where it's acceptable is if his head is behind the hips, to not have hip inside position, but we will talk about this later. So this is pushing on my partner. You can also pull your partner. Okay, if my partner is just too strong to push down, what I can do is pull the overhook up. Especially if you're a bit longer, like me, this is very fun. Because I unweight the legs completely. So even if he tries to stay very strong here or try to move me, I pull him up and now I can pull my partner. Okay? And because I can pull my partner, I can use the wrist grip to help me to gain his weight on the left side. So even if he tries to stay very strong on the right, I can just pull him to me. Okay? Pull him to me. I can push him in front of me. I can pull him to me. I can circle around with the foot. I can push him to my partner. And I can do it the whole time with the wrist grip. The mercy grip is also acceptable, but understand that the mercy grip is more of a 50-50 thing. So, if you can break down the posture of your partner, you can do every takedown possible. And I prefer to do pushing methods, let's call it pushing methods, and pulling methods, where you pull your partner up. So let's now combine both movements. And I believe if you understand this combination, let's call it the gold standard, because it's the easiest one in my opinion, but it looks cool. And some people would say it could be advanced, but it's not really advanced. It's just combining the pushing and the pulling. Advanced would be if you look at the judokas. They use so many methods to off-balance their people, but they use the same rules. So that's why I want you to understand the rules. It's not about being the best judoka in the world and moving your partner like a world champion in judo. It will be enough as long as you understand the rules, because then people can't move you and you will move them. Trust me, you will move them. So let's assume we have the wrist grip again. And now we combine both. If I have a good partner here, if I'm only pushing, he will fight the push, right? If I'm only pulling, he will fight the pull. So we need to do both, and preferably close to each other at the same time. What I like to do is start with the push and then pull and go back to the push. We can do it in other orders, but this is the easiest one. So let's say I push my partner, I walk into him, he fights it. Now I pull my partner, and now I push again. So let's do it very slowly. I push, he fights the push. I pull, he fights the pull. And then I go into his hips and I push again. And then I can start my attacks. Looks something like this if you go a bit quicker. One more time. So you see, you use the push to pull to push. For example, you can also use the pull and then to the push and then to the pull. Okay, so let's say I pull my partner, he fights the pull, he fights the pull. I go to the push, but he's too strong. And now I pull him again. And now I'm in this position where I can start inside tripping, Kusotogake, or I can do a 4-step motion to go back to the pushing. Pull, 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 push, pull, bump. And I hip check. Okay, so you see, your partner is moving the whole time. And when I tell Linus, don't get moved, and I tell him, be strong, it means that I can't move him against his will. Again, this goes back to what I said. If you can move your partner against his will, you can do whatever. And this is what wrestling is all about. So, one more time. I push, I push, I push. He tries to be upright. I pull my partner, and I push back. And from here we can start the hip checking action and putting our partner down. So the next section will be